Afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Arlington. I'm George Kell, along with Al Kaline. 75 degrees here in Arlington today. Just a delightful Sunday afternoon. We've had a great weekend here and a great day for baseball, and we should have a classic matchup today. Jack Morris will pitch for the Tigers. Jack's 2-2 on the year, making his 5th start of the year. And his counterpart, Charlie Huff, 2-2 in his 5th start of the year.
Yeah, they both got off to good starts, but they have lost their last 2 games. Jack Morris losing his last 2 games. He's winless at home, and he's won both of his starts on the road. The Texas Ball Club has beaten Jack 2 times in a row now, so he has some revenge factor there. Charlie Huff, you just don't know about him. The Tigers have had great success over the year against him, but he has a super knuckleball. 40-year-old veteran, a long-time Los Angeles Dodger pitcher, mostly in relief. But since coming to Texas, he has been strictly a starting pitcher and a very good one, even though the Tigers have had good success against him.
Yeah, he pitched against the Tigers last year twice. He was 0-2, and most of his problems, wild pitches, pass balls, getting by the catcher, the Tigers do not hit him that much, and he's had a streak of wildness at times against the Tigers. His lifetime career, he's won 4 and lost 8. So, as Al Kaline pointed out to you, the Tigers have done very well against Charlie Huff. But he is tough, and I was in the clubhouse before the game today, and Al, they are not looking forward to hitting this knuckleball.
Well, he can make you look so bad at times. It's an embarrassment sometimes. The ball just comes up there at home plate, looks like it's going to be a strike, and all of a sudden it'll break any which way, mostly down and away, particularly from right-handed batters. But he can make you look like a fool sometimes, but every once in a while he will make a mistake, and of course when he does that, you have to hit the ball hard.
Here's something to look for today. Al Kaline made this point on the pregame show, and it's been said about knuckleballs since time beginning. Knuckleball pitchers like to throw into the wind, sort of like an airplane, I would imagine, taking off into the wind. They say the ball does more, it dances up there. Charlie Huff is going to be pitching today with the wind blowing almost straight in from center field to home plate. Now, knuckleball pitchers claim that flattens it out a little bit. That might be an advantage for the Tigers.
Well, that's been my experience, you know, facing Wilhelm and other knuckleball pitchers in my career, that if the wind is behind them, the ball just doesn't knuckle nearly as much. It will move, but not drastically like some knuckleballs do.
Well, a few more base-on balls, pass balls, wild pitches, and Bobby Valentine is going to be pulling his hair out after last night's ball game. The Tigers won it. It was not a very pretty thing at all, but they'll take it. Very ugly win, they call it, in the dugout. But a lot of pass balls, a lot of wild pitches, and a lot of base-on balls. We have another fine crowd on hand today. We've had 23,000, 34 last night, another good crowd today. They stand now as we honor America.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
We're just about ready to go. The umpires today behind the plate, Vic Valtaggio, Steve Palermo's at first, Dan Morrison at second, Dave Phillips, the umpire at third base, and Al Kaline has the starting lineup.
Okay, George, thanks very much. Here's how the Tigers will bat. Leading off, Gary Pettis in center field. Batting second, Lou Whitaker, second base. Batting third, the hero of last night's game, Darrell Evans, first base. Batting fourth, Alan Trammell, the shortstop. Batting fifth, the catcher, Matt Noakes. Batting sixth, Jim Morrison at third base today, replacing Tommy Brookins. Batting seventh, Pat Sheridan in left field. Batting 8th, the right fielder, Chet Lemon. And batting 9th, the DH today is Ray Knight. Defensively for Texas, Incaviglia, Espy, and Sierra. Buechele, Fletcher, Brown, O'Brien. Petrelli is behind the plate. And, of course, as we mentioned, Charlie Huff is on the mound for the Texas Ball Club. Hey, Charlie, you shrunk a little bit, buddy. I tell you, it's really heck to get old, isn't it? You really shrink up.
He was giving every indication of the starting pitcher for today's game.
All right. He's going to have a hard time gripping the knuckleball.
He's going to do it again.
Alex, that's really cute. He's throwing out the first pitch. And they do this before every ball game. They have groups come in from different parts around Arlington, and they have someone different every night or every day throw out the first pitch. And now we're looking at the real Charlie Huff. And you see his record is 2 wins and 2 losses, an excellent 2.34 run average. So you know that he's been pitching outstanding baseball, but Texas last night was the first night that they've scored more than 4 runs in one game. So he's been pitching in tough luck, and he's making his 5th start and appearance of the season. I mentioned he's 40 years old. His last loss was at Cleveland, and he got beat in that game 2-1. You see innings pitched, how many hits? 15 hits. He's walked 15 and struck out 22. It's his career record against the Tigers, as we mentioned earlier, 4 wins and 8 losses. He lost both of his games against the Tigers last year, and oddly enough, both games was against Doyle Alexander, who has pitched just great baseball since joining the Tigers late last season. And in fact, without Doyle Alexander, the Tigers would probably not have won the American League East. But you see there, since 1982, Jack Morris, just outstanding, 113 wins. Valenzuela and Charlie Huff, oddly enough, surprisingly enough, I didn't know that, 98 wins since 1982. So it all depends on how he's getting his knuckleball over. He can be extremely tough, or if he's wild and has to come in with his fastball, he can be very easy to hit.
So we're ready to go. Another good crowd on hand. They've had a big weekend of baseball here in Arlington. The faithful showing up, 23,000 plus, 34 plus, and 25 maybe today or more. We guessed 25 last night, had 34, so you hesitate to hazard a guess. Gary Pettis will lead it off, a switch hitter batting left-handed against Huff. He'll be followed by Whitaker and then Darrell Evans. And the first pitch of the game. One strike to Gary Pettis. Gary was on base 3 times last night. He walked twice, singled, had a couple of stolen bases, and scored a couple of runs. They play in very shallow on the infield. And another foul ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. With 2 strikes on Pettis, they move back a bit. Not as far as they would on some hitters, but they do not expect the bunt with 2 strikes. Ball 2 and strike 2.
And believe me, it's no picnic being a catcher, catching a knuckleball like Huff.
Ball hit the first base. Easy play for O'Brien. So Gary Pettis is out, first out of the game. And the batter will be Lou Whitaker.
Batting second, the second baseman.
We want to say happy birthday to Bob Ganzak. Bob Ganzak is the father of Sue Ganzak, who just takes care of everything for us back in the studio, and we wish her father a happy birthday today, Bob Ganzak. Lou Whitaker takes a strike.
Lou has just 1 hit in this series, and that was in the first ball game. He had a 3-base hit and drove a run in. Last night he was 0 for 4.
And a pitch outside makes it 1-1. Roger Clemens is pitching today in Milwaukee. They finally got some clear sky. Here's a base hit into the corner. He might go for two. He will. Here's the throw, and whoa, he threw it a mile over the second baseman's head. That could have been a close play at second, and Incaviglia just airmailed it all the way to first base.
Incaviglia tied in the American League for assists by an outfielder. He got over very quickly to field the ball, and he made a strong throw, but he just overthrew the second baseman. Big guy hustles around pretty good. He moves. He's a bulky guy, 220 pounds, I would imagine, maybe more, and he just airmails it over the head of the second baseman.
So Whitaker's at second with one out, and the batter is Darrell Evans. Darrell with a big night last night. A single, a home run, batted in 4. And takes a knuckleball for a strike. The wind is moving all over the place. It's sort of coming from left field into home plate at the moment. But it does appear that it's going to be blowing in all day, whether it's from center field, left center, or right center. Good pickup by Petrali. They swing around well toward right field for Evans. Leave a big gap in center, left center field. 1 ball, 1 strike. This one's hit to first. O'Brien on to third. Goes Whitaker. He'll be there with 2 outs and leave it up to Trammell. This is not a bad situation to be in with a knuckleball pitcher. He's got to be very careful that he doesn't throw one by Petrali with a runner at third base.
Well, Petrali last season had 6 pass balls in 1 game, and of course that's when Charlie Huff was pitching, and that tied a record. So if he's got a good knuckleball, it can very easily get by the catcher.
Yeah, that was in Detroit. We telecast that ball game. What it does, it causes him to let up a little bit. He doesn't throw his best knuckleball. Gives Trammell a better chance. 1 ball, no strikes.
And Charlie Huff has been called for a lot of balks, mostly in spring training, and he still goes with the set position on the mound instead of winding up. Now, is that a stop?
I want to point out something to you, Al. He does not come to a stop at the belt like most pitchers. He stops about shoulder high. Now watch him. But he does come to a stop, or he has so far. Most pitchers bring it right to the belt. Watch Charlie.
Looks like he comes to 2 stops.
Pitch outside. Ball 2, strike 1 to Trammell. Whitaker, the runner at third, 2 outs in the first inning. Trammell waiting on the 2-1 pitch. Whoa, he just barely flagged it down. The knuckleball took off on him. Petrali made a good stab. Ball 3. They're going to, I thought they were going to put him on, but he is indicating to Charlie Huff, come over the top. He came sidearm with that one. I'm not too sure they hadn't rather pitched to Noakes than Trammell. A strike makes it 3-2. Ball 3, strike 2, runner at third, 2 outs in the first inning. Tigers were helped tremendously last night by walks, pass balls, and wild pitches. Trammell is yet to swing at a pitch. He walked him, so Allen will go to first base. Tigers will have him at first and third for young Matt Noakes. had 1 hit last night.
Now, Matt should hit a knuckleball pitcher pretty well, if anybody does hit a knuckleball well. He has a short swing. The big problem with Matt is that if he tries to pull the ball too much, he'll ground it on the ground. But he has a short swing, and usually they have more success hitting knuckleballers than someone who takes a big, long swing. Has a big hole up the middle. If he could hit it just to the glove side of the pitcher, then he could get it through the infield.
Tigers may be running. They've got Trammell at first, who runs very well. They might want. Whoop, he looked like he was going on that pitch.
So he gives it that little knee bend, and that's a balk. He bends that back knee on the foot that's on the rubber, and that's really deceiving the base runner.
2 on and 2 outs in the first inning. He's got him picked off. He is out. He had him picked off. Trammell was going. He took that 1 step and out at first. Tigers strand a runner. We go to the bottom of the first. No score.
Off Jerry Brown, the second baseman. Batting second, Scott Fletcher, shortstop. Batting third, Ruben Sierra, the right fielder. Batting fourth, Pete Incabilia in left field. Batting fifth, the first baseman, Pete O'Brien. Batting sixth, former Tiger Steve Kemp, the DH. Batting seventh, Gino Petrali, the catcher. Batting eighth, playing third base, Steve Buechele. Batting ninth, Cecil Espy in center field. Defensively for Detroit, Sheridan, Pettis, and Lemon in the outfield. Morrison, Trammell, Whitaker, Evans, Matt Noakes behind the plate, and Jack Morris on the mound for the Tigers. Jack's record, 2 wins and 2 losses, 4.60 earned run average, and most of that was in his last outing, making his 5th appearance and start of the year. 31 in the 3rd innings, 35 hits, walked 16, and struck out 30. Jack won his first 2 outings, both on the road, and then lost his last 2 at home. His last outing against Boston, Roger Clemens was a winner in that game. Jack pitched 5 in the 3rd innings. He allowed a career-high 12 hits, 7 runs all earned. He walked 5 and struck out 5. Jack, of course, has established a lot of records of sorts. Only major league pitcher with 15 wins or more his last 6 seasons. Has more wins in the 80s than any other major league pitcher, and Jack pitches extremely well on the road.
Let's take a look at the play at first base. Trammell obviously was going to be running. They were going to make the Rangers throw the ball around a little bit.
You see the little bend of the knee, and that's you see he clearly is out, but that bend of the knee that goes down away from the base runner, that's a very questionable balk. And Charlie Huff does that. He's an experienced pitcher. He gets away with it. You're not supposed to deceive the runner, and a lot of times when you do that, that looks like an indication he's going to pitch the ball and throw it home.
Jerry Brown will lead it off, the second baseman, and he takes a strike from Morris. Brown will be followed by Scott Fletcher and then Ruben Sierra. Tomorrow is an off day for the Tigers. They'll open at home on Tuesday night against the California Ball Club. 3 night games against the Angels. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Seattle in over the weekend. A lot of good baseball coming up in Detroit next week. 1 ball, 1 strike to the switch hitting Jerry Brown, and it's ball 2. Ball 2, strike 1.
Jack Morris has a record, lifetime record, 11-8 against the Rangers, 6-3 here in Arlington, but he's lost his last 2 decisions to the Rangers.
There's a base hit into left center. Jerry Brown rifled this one over the head of Trammell, and he's on with a single.
Well, you're going to see a lot of this high fastballs. Jack, when he's struggling, and it looks like he has been the last couple of outings, he throws a lot of high fastballs. particularly if he's behind in the count.
Well, they bring up Scott Fletcher. Scott Fletcher, the Ranger shortstop, good hit and run man, good bunt man, and they are in at third. Hold against the runner at first. Jim Morrison is the third baseman today. You heard Tommy Brookins on the pregame show. He says it's a day-to-day thing. He has not received the reports yet on the x-rays. They took the x-rays this morning. They will have those, I'm sure, before the game's over. But he doesn't think it's broken. 1 ball, no strikes. And a drive into right center field. Chester Lemon is there. Long run for Chet, but he picks it off. Ball didn't have much of a chance. Hit into the wind in right center field. First out. It'll bring up Ruben Sierra. Take a look at the wind. That is a good, strong breeze.
You have to line drive. The ball will carry you on the line drive, but if you hit it up in the air, then it will hold up. Good base runner at first base. 27 stolen bases last year for Texas. He had a high of 39 in the minor leagues, so he's a good base stealer. Brown at first base.
Ruben Sierra got a home run here on Friday night. His first home run of the year. He's a switch batter. Change up, hit deep, way back in right field. This one's gone. He hit a change up on a line into the seats in right field.
Well, he did hit a line drive on the very first pitch. Unusual for a batter to change, to hit the first pitch shown to him, a change up, but Sierra, a fine-looking young player. We take a look at it again. Jack throws the ball, and you see it is up in the strike zone and inside. Ruben, of course, 32 home runs last year. Line drive right out of here.
And the batter is in Cavilla. He's had a couple of home runs. His first 2 of the year. One on Friday night, one on Saturday. 1 strike to Pete. He batted in 3 last night. 2-0. The Rangers lead it. We're in the first inning. And a pitch in tight. Incavilla does not want to be pitched in tight. He's a lot like Winfield. But you must pitch him in tight if you're going to get him out. Foul tipped it. He tried to get out of the way, and the ball hit his bat. Says Valtaggio.
Incavilla doesn't believe that the ball hit his bat.
Scoreboard has it ball 2, strike 1, but I'm sure he called it a strike. Yeah, he did. Matt Noakes turns around and says, we'll have to change the scoreboard. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, he's gotten well in this series, hasn't he? Couple home runs, 500 batting average.
We had a good rip at a high fastball. Roger Clemens off to a good start. He is 2-0 over Milwaukee in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Boston leading. Pitch to Incavilla. He's out. Checked his swing and got the call strike. Incavilla, second out of the inning. And the batter will be Pete O'Brien.
Looked like a off-speed pitch by Jack, split finger pitch. It goes down well. Looked like it was a good pitch. Plus, looked like he swung at the ball.
We'll keep you posted on the scores, and especially of interest, the Baltimore game in Kansas City. There's no score there. Baltimore, Kansas City now batting in the 4th inning. Cleveland off and running again. They scored 6 in the 1st inning on Friday night, 4 last night, and 2 tonight, this afternoon. And they lead 4-3 over Minnesota. Minnesota is batting in the 3rd inning. Toronto has a 3-2 lead in the 7th inning over the Yankees. Changeup is high. Oakland 4, Chicago 1, bottom of the 3rd. Seattle plays later at California.
Pete O'Brien had a big night last night and enabled him to move in the lead in the American League in batting. Had 3 hits plus a home run.
That was a 2-run homer by O'Brien that drove Tanana out. The 3-1 pitch. He walked. Well, Pete O'Brien is on with a walk. That's the 3rd Ranger batter here in the 1st inning. That'll bring up Steve Kemp, the designated hitter. Just a reminder that coming up later will be our Miller Lite Tiger home run inning. And if your postcard is selected and a Tiger hits a home run during this inning, you're going to win $1,600 from Miller Beer. So don't go away. You could be a winner today. $1,600. Steve Kemp struck out to end the game last night. He was in as a pinch batter in the bottom of the 9th. Jack delivers high. Steve batting at .211. He's been to the plate 19 times and he has 4 hits, no home runs, no runs batted in.
Of course, he's replacing Larry Parrish, who is struggling at the plate, also has a touch of the flu.
1 strike, 1 ball. Lorenzo White, they tell us, selected by the Houston Oilers from Michigan State in the 22nd round. So 22nd pick in the 1st round. Lorenzo goes to the Houston Oilers.
What a great career he had at Michigan State University. Outstanding running back.
Ball 2, strike 1 to Kemp. And a ball hit into right field, a base hit. Headed for 3rd is O'Brien, and very wisely Lemon does not throw to 3rd base. Well, Steve Kemp with a base hit. 1st and 3rd, they have him with 2 outs.
Well, the Rangers are roughing Jack Morris up here in the 1st inning. This ball not hit hard, but it's a tremendous advantage when you have the first baseman holding the runner on. And Chet Lemon has no chance to get O'Brien at 3rd base.
Take a look at Sparky. He doesn't like what he's seeing so far here in the 1st inning.
It's unusual to see Jack Morris, who was really belted around his last outing. And now all of a sudden here in the 1st inning, they have 3 hits, plus they've had 4 base runners already in the 1st inning.
3 hits, including a 2-run homer. And the batter is Petrelli, and a drive into left. This ball is going to be caught. He hit it on the line, right straight to the left fielder. 2 runs in the inning on 3 hits. They strand 2, and at the end of 1, the Rangers lead it 2-0. Well, our first trivia call today, Al Kaline, is going to Eaton Rapids, Michigan.
Okay, which current Texas Ranger hit 30 home runs in his rookie season? He had a tremendous career at Oklahoma State University, a 3-time All-American.
Never played a day in the minor leagues.
Has a tendency to strike out a lot also.
Matt Noakes will lead off. Matthew was the batter in the 1st inning when Trammell was picked off first base. Well, that Pittsburgh club keeps rolling along. They lead Chicago 4-2 in the 7th. The league leading Pirates. We haven't had a chance to say that much in the last few years. None at all.
Jimmy Leland had a quote in the paper today. He thinks he has the best athletes of anybody in baseball.
O'Brien having a busy day. That's the 3rd ground ball to O'Brien. And the batter will be Jim Morrison. Jim is playing at 3rd base today. He's been the designated hitter in this series, but With Brookins out, he's the third baseman.
Of course, Tigers have a lot of people who can play third base. Ray Knight is a DH today. They have Salazar, Jim Whalewander.
A bunt up in the air, and look out, they almost collided, and a great play by Petralli. Gino coming out from behind the plate, avoiding a collision. Watch this. This is a pretty good play.
Looked like they were going to ram together. Huff would not have caught it because he was bailing out. He didn't want to get hurt. You can usually get hurt when you run into a catcher with all that equipment on.
2 quick outs in the second inning, and the batter is Sheridan. 1 ball, no strikes. Tigers have 1 hit. They had 2 base runners in the first inning. Trammell walked after the double by Whitaker. Then he was picked off first base. One ball, 1 strike to Sheridan, and a line shot knocked down, and he's going to beat him to first. Charlie Huff assumed that O'Brien was going to catch it, and he stopped, and that was just enough for Sheridan to get there. I don't know why he didn't catch it.
Well, this ball was hit like a rocket. It could have sunk or sailed at the last. You see there, the ball should have been caught. And then Huff does not cover first base.
They score that an error, and they should.
Yes, it should have been.
Against O'Brien. And the batter is Lemon. Chester was hitless last night for only the 2nd time this year. Watch Charlie Huff. He has a very good move to first base. There's a base hit into right. Good piece of hitting as Chester just bounced it through the hole into right field. So the Tigers put him at first and second with 2 outs. And the batter will be Ray Knight.
Usually what I mentioned that the knuckleball will go down and away from right-handers. Chester does, I believe, what you have to do with a knuckleballer is hit him up the middle or take him to right field, and if he does happen to hang a curveball, it's coming so slow you can still pull it, or a breaking ball.
In a big discussion in the clubhouse before the game about hitting a knuckleball, Billy Consolo says you can hit a knuckleball farther than any other pitch. He said 2 of the longest home runs I ever hit came off knuckleballs. And Alex Grandma says, run that by me again now. Billy didn't hit that many home runs.
That's why he remembers them.
Yeah, you got to remember them. But he's right. I've heard that before, that if you hit a knuckleball, there's something about the spin on it. It carries extremely well. 1 strike to Ray Knight. And he pops it up. We'll get him out of the inning as O'Brien is there, has the room, and puts it away. We go to the bottom of the second. It's 2-0 Rangers. Well, we have a trivia winner. How about this? First time around, Jack Webb of Eaton Rapids correctly answered your question. He's won 2 tickets to a Tiger home game. So, Al, you might repeat that.
Okay, which current Texas Ranger hit 30 home runs in his rookie season? Of course, the answer is Pete. Don't pitch me tight because I don't like it in there. Incabilia.
Right. We'll have another trivia question for you on our next pregame show, and that'll be next Sunday in Detroit against Seattle. There's a fly ball into shallow right field. Lemon coming hard, still coming, and he has it on the dead run. The wind bringing that one back to the infield, and a long run for Chet Lemon. Steve Buechele is out, and the batter will be Cecil Espy.
And Chester has to get to know Lou Whitaker a little bit better. Lou has a tendency to stop on a fly ball that goes to right field, and Chester has to continue to keep running.
Tiger fans here from Onstead, Michigan, Midland, Michigan. This one's foul off to the right. And Detroit. And this young lady, Mary Kapersinski, sends a cake up. We're going to be fat before we leave here. We're going to be fat. We had brownies, chocolate brownies on Friday night. Now a cake today.
I tell you, we were lucky to get some of those brownies too.
I know it. We turned our back on them till the end of the game, and boom,
they were gone.
Just a few left. The 2-strike pitch to Espy. He struck him out. Tigers have had great success with this fellow. He had a triple last night, but 3 strikeouts, and he strikes out the first time today. I'm going to let
Second baseman.
Well, here's the pitch that Jack relies an awful lot on. That's the split finger pitch, and he has such great arm motion with it that the hitters will swing at it, even though it's out of the strike zone.
Jerry Brown had a base hit, scored the first run of the game. He singled, then came in on the 2-run homer by Sierra. And that's the difference. Rangers 2 and the Tigers nothing. And he fouls this one away. Minnesota has rallied. They've tied Cleveland 4-4, and they're still batting in the 3rd inning.
You really have to give Cleveland an awful lot of credit for the tremendous start, but they've been very fortunate in the teams that they've played. They've, I think, played Baltimore 5 times, or maybe 6.
6, I think.
Here's a pitch that Jack airmails over the head of the catcher.
Ball 2, strike 1, and another foul ball. There is no score in Kansas City. Bottom of the 5th inning. Orioles got close yesterday. Kansas City got a run in the bottom of the 9th to win it 4-3. Ball hit to Whitaker. Big hop. And an easy 1-2-3 inning for Jack Morris. At the end of 2, Texas 2 and the Tigers nothing. After each televised Tiger game, Al and I will be announcing the Miller Lite Tiger Player of the Game. The winner will have $100 donated in his name to the Children's Hospitals of Michigan by the Miller Brewing Company. Tigers down by 2 as they come to bat in the 3rd inning. Gary Pettis, Lou Whitaker, and Darrell Evans will be the batters. Gary bounced to first his first time up. Bunt's foul. Attempted bunt. Minnesota tied it at 4, but the Indians came right back with 3. 7-4, they lead Minnesota. Strike 2 to Gary Pettis. You let this fella get out in front of you, and he's a freewheeler. He just keeps throwing the knuckleball at you. And the Rangers did just that, getting 2 in the 1st inning. Pitch outside, no swing. They appeal to 3rd base to Dave Phillips. Here he is. Dave's the crew chief of this umpiring crew. That'll make it 2-2 to Pettis. Montreal and Philadelphia 1-1 in the 7th inning. They had a suspended game last night. It rained in the 7th, tied 3-3. The 2-2 pitch coming up. Ball 3.
Well, I would think that Charlie Huff will throw a fastball here. He doesn't want to walk Pettis. It's almost like giving up a 2-base hit if you put Pettis on. See if he just tries to lay the fastball in there.
He did. Threw him a fastball down the middle. Gary fouls it away. Atlanta 2, Cincinnati 1. They're in the bottom of the 5th inning in Atlanta. Cardinals and the Mets are 2-2 in the bottom of the 5th in St. Louis. He struck him out. He might have swung at a bad pitch. Gary Pettis trying to find the fastball, strikes out.
Well, let's see if it was a strike or not. There's the pitch. It looks like it's well outside. Gary goes for it anyhow and strikes out.
It's the first strikeout for Charlie Huff. And the batter is Whitaker, who had a double in the first inning. One strike to Sweet Lou. Tigers have had a couple of chances. They had 2 on in the first inning. Trammell was picked off to end that threat. They had 2 on in the second inning. Ray Knight fouled out to first base. So they have not been without base runners. Ball is high, ball 2. Ball 2, strike 1. Lou batting at .283. He has 12 hits in 46 trips. 1 home run, 7 runs batted in. This is fouled away. Ball 2 and strike 2 to Whitaker. We're in the 3rd inning. Texas 2 and the Tigers nothing. Tigers trying to make it 3 in a row here in Arlington. Knuckleball hangs high. Charlie didn't think so.
They've done pretty well, but Tigers are really not knocking the cover off the ball, are they? 184 team batting average this year.
He walked him. Pitch is outside, and Lou Whitaker gets a walk. Second walk given up by Huff. Well, the Tigers won here last night 7-6 with only 5 hits. Rangers had 12. But a big 3-run homer by this fellow. His first home run of the year. Put it out of reach, but barely.
Second in the American League with 103 home runs over the last 3 seasons. Of course, he has led the Tigers in home runs those 3 seasons. And you know who was first, don't you, Mr. Kell?
I'd say George Bell.
You're right.
George Bell. He's off to another good start. 1 ball, no strikes. But he hit 3 on opening day in Kansas City. 1 the second day.
Off of Saberhagen, which is no easy feat in itself, hitting just 1.
Saberhagen is pitching today. They're in the bottom of the 5th inning. Kansas City has just scored a run. They lead 1-0. Does not get any easier for the Orioles. John Wathan, the manager of the Kansas City club, said, I feel sorry for this ball club.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. After they leave here on Sunday, you'll feel more sorry. Base hit into right. Let's see if Lou's going to hit for third. He will. No throw. Throw comes in to second. Solid base hit for Darrell Evans, and the Tigers for the 3rd straight inning have 2 runners aboard.
Well, Darrell is really starting to swing the bat well. This time he's able to line the ball down the right field line. He's getting in the groove now.
Whitaker is the runner at 3rd. Evans at 1st. 1 out for Alan Trammell. Allen drew a walk in the 1st inning.
And Allen has done very well against Texas in the RBI department. 13 and most against any team last season. Of course, Allen coming off the best year of his excellent career, 343, 28 home runs, and 105 RBIs.
He fouls it away. 1 strike to Trammell. Allen batting at .250. He had a rough night here last night.
To me, Allen looks confused at the plate. He's not having good swings. He's not short and compact. He seems to be swinging at a lot of bad pitches.
This one's fouled away. He's had a couple of good pitches to hit. Not the real good Charlie Huff knuckleball, and he's fouled him away. Infield at double play depth. Everybody back except O'Brien, who holds against Evans at first base. Trammell waiting on the 2-strike pitch. Another foul ball. Tigers have 3 hits. Whitaker had a double in the first inning. Lemon singled in the second, and Evans singled here in the third inning. They've had a couple of walks. 1 runner safe on an error. So they've had some chances. Pitch outside. They have changed the score on the scoreboard. Minnesota has an 8-4 lead over Cleveland. They were 4-4 going into the 4th inning. They had posted it 7-4 Cleveland. Now it's Minnesota 8-4. Trammell strikes out. He went for the knuckleball and goes down swinging. So a big strikeout for Charlie Huff.
Well, Allen had a couple good pitches to hit, but he's going to see a real good knuckleball here. Look at the ball break almost like a curveball down and away from Allen.
That leaves it up to Matt Noakes, who bounced out back in the second inning. Two on and 2 outs. The veteran Charlie Huff trying to pitch out of a jam. Pitches high to Noakes. Yankees are tied at 3 with Toronto. They're still batting. They've scored a run in the bottom of the 7th. Toronto had won 16 out of the last 22 games played against the Yankees in New York. They had not done nearly as well in Toronto. The Yankees have beat up on them pretty good in Toronto. Roger Clemens still has a shutout going. They're in the 6th inning. The 2-0 pitch. Ball 3-0 to Noakes.
Well, Darrell Evans was given the hit sign last night, and I would believe that Matt Noakes will be given the hit sign here in today's game. The right-hander coming up behind him. He might want to throw a knuckleball to Matt, figuring that he is going to swing.
Ball 3, no strikes. And a strike makes it 3-1. Gary Pettis started this inning by striking out. Whitaker walked. Evans singled to right. And then Trammell struck out. Matt Noakes trying to rescue the base runners. Fouls this one right off the leg, I think, of Petrale. He is down for the moment, now on his feet. He took one last night off the thigh.
Well, it's no easy feat catching someone like Charlie Huff, who has a, as we all know, an unusual pitch. Not too many people throw this pitch. Well, he got him right on the kneecap. And Noakes is going to have to keep his head in there. He was really bad on that last pitch, trying to hit the ball too hard and too far.
Petrale walks it off as he goes all the way to the mound and beyond and then back. Ball 3, strike 2. It means that Evans will be running on the pitch. Whitaker's at third. Tigers down by 2. O'Brien playing well behind Evans now. They just let him go. Here's the payoff pitch coming up. And a bouncer to first. That'll get him out of the inning. Matt Noakes bounces it down to first base. No runs in the inning on a single and a walk. Tigers strand 2. We go to the bottom of the third. 2-0 Texas. I'm going to pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're watching Tigers 88. Well, Thomas scores in a high-stakes games of life and death during Play-In for Keeps week on Magnum PI. That's starting tomorrow at 4 here on Channel 4. Scott Fletcher, the leadoff man in the third inning for the Rangers. He flied to right field his first time. 1 ball, no strikes. Fletcher, Sierra, and Incaviglia, the heart of the batting order, coming up for Texas in the third inning. Pitch by Morris is low, ball 2. Ball 2, no strikes. They're in the bottom of the 8th inning in Pittsburgh. Still 4-2. Pirates over the Cubs. They go for a sweep this weekend. And a line shot speared by Trammell. Ooh, that was headed for left field. He hit it very hard, and a good play by Trammell to pick it off.
Well, Scott Fletcher, who hit .354 against the Tigers last year, hits the ball on a nose. Excellent play by the Gold Glove shortstop Trammell. Look at the ball. Good fastball, low and away.
They'll bring up Sierra, who had a 2-run homer in the first inning. Ruben Sierra. He's had only 2 all year. 1 came on Friday night. 1 in the first inning today.
Ruben now is 4 for 14 against Jack Morris with 3 home runs.
Ball 2, no strikes. He had a changeup in the first inning, the very first pitch. The 2-0 pitch to Sierra. It's outside, ball 3. Incaviglia will bat next. He might swing 3-0. He does. He had the home run swing. Ball 3 and strike 1. Jack Morris ready and time call. Jack was in his motion. That's a little bit late. He had already started the leg kick and was ready to come down. There's a drive to center field. Pettis is there. Ooh, a knuckleball looked like. Lined like a knuckleball into center field.
A fielder.
It's out number 2, and the batter is Incaviglia.
And the 2 batters that he's got now that have not been easy outs. Both balls have been hit very hard.
Now 2 line drives here in the third inning. 1 speared by Trammell. This one by Pettis. Incaviglia struck out his first time up. Breaking ball in for a strike.
Matt Noakes has to be careful about jumping too soon to where the ball he wants the ball to be pitched. You can see it out the corner of your eye if the catcher jumps too soon.
Incaviglia had a good rip at it, fouls it away. The hits are even at 3. Rangers lead it 2-0. All of their scoring and base runners came in the first inning. Tigers have threatened in every inning but failed to score. They've had 2 runners in each of the first 3 innings. And it's strike 2 to Incaviglia. Jack Morris trying to retire his 7th straight batter. Blocked by Noakes. Kansas City still batting in the 6th. They've scored 2 more. 3-0. They lead Baltimore. You give Saberhagen another one or so, and it might be 18 straight for the O's. He struck him out for the 2nd time today. He gets in Incaviglia. At the end of 3, Rangers 2 and the Tigers nothing. Is our Miller Lite home run inning. We've had no winners for our last 6 telecasts, so the pot is up to $1,600, and playing today is Thelma Emil from Roseville, Michigan, whose postcard was selected at random by the independent accounting firm of Cooperson Lybrand prior to this game. And a ground ball deep short. Long throw and out at first base. Well, Jim Morrison hit the first pitch, and he's out. If a Tiger hits a home run during this inning, Thelma's going to win $1,600. So good luck to you, Thelma Emil of Roseville. Your chances are down to 2. Pat Sheridan, the batter, and a fly ball into shallow center field that'll drop in for a hit. So Sheridan is on with a base hit. 4th Tiger hit. A 1-out single by Pat. And the batter is Lemon, who singled to right field his first time up. Tigers have had plenty of base runners against Huff, but have not been able to cash in on 3 opportunities in the first 3 innings. It's a dandy little move. He gives you that little hop, skip, jump, throw to first base. What if he would forget and throw a knuckleball over there? Lemon takes it inside. 1 ball, no strikes. All the scoring in this game came in the first inning. Ruben Sierra hit a 2-run homer after the first man had singled. They got Fletcher out, then the 2-run homer by Sierra, and that's been it. Pitch to Lemon. I'll make it 1-1 to Chet. Montreal scored a run in the top of the 8th inning, and they lead the Phillies 2-1. Still 2-2 in St. Louis. Mets and the Cardinals. They're in the 6th inning. One ball, 1 strike, and he'll go to first base, and a balk has been called. A balk called on Charlie Huff.
And Salerno, the first base umpire, pointed down to his right knee. He said he bent his right knee, and that is definitely deceiving a runner. He does it a lot of times. Finally, he got caught for it. You see that? He bent his knee. And usually when you do that, you throw the pitch home.
1 hopper to third. Buechele will make the play at first base, and Lemon is out. Chet Lemon bounces out, third to first, and leaves it up to Ray Knight.
Designated hitter.
Ray's 0 for 1. He popped to first base his first time up.
And Ray just has to tell himself to wait. He even on a knuckleball pitcher, he's way out on his front foot. See there, he's done at least last season very well when men were in on base last season. 357.
1 ball, no strikes. Runner at second base is Sheridan. He's single with 1 out. Went to second on the balk. Ray Knight batting at .192. No home runs. He's batted in 5 this year. And the pitch from Huff. He sends a high fly ball to center. It'll be an easy play for Espy, who camps under it, puts it away, and the inning is over. We go to the bottom of the 4th. It's still Texas 2 and the Tigers nothing. Well, the 4th inning went by and we did not have a Tiger home run, but just for entering, we would like to send Thelma Emile from Roseville, Michigan, 2 tickets to an upcoming Tiger home game. Miller Beer will be adding another $100 to the pot for our next Miller Lite home run inning, and that'll be next Sunday in Detroit. O'Brien pops it up, and let's see who's going to handle it. Jim Morrison does, near the mound. So O'Brien on the first pitch is out. Now, if you want to enter the home run hitting contest, you just send your name, address, age, and phone number on a postcard to Miller Lite Home Run Inning, Box 920, Detroit, 48231. You must be 18 years old or older. Steve Kemp had a base hit in the first inning. And a fly ball to left. Could be an easy play for Sheridan. So 2 pitches, 2 outs here in the 4th inning. Jack has retired 9 batters in a row since Kemp singled in the first inning. He was roughed up a bit in the first inning. They had 3 hits, including a 2-run homer. He walked a man. But since then, he has not allowed a base runner. This is Gino Petrelli, who lined hard to left field in the first inning with 2 runners aboard. Jack Morris delivers, and a strike to Petrelli. It's been a long inning in Kansas City. They're still batting in the 6th inning. They've scored 3 times against Baltimore. 3-0. 1 ball, 1 strike. Gino Petrelli. Waiting on the 1-1 pitch from Morris. Hard one right on by. Minnesota had a big inning in the 4th inning. They now lead Cleveland 11-4. They went into the inning trailing 4-3. And a strikeout. He'll be thrown out by Matt Noakes. So another 1-2-3 inning for Jack, and at the end of 4, it's still Texas 2 and the Tigers nothing. Here's a reminder to all you young Tiger fans. Next Sunday is Tiger Workout Jersey Day. Now, every youngster 14 and under will receive a Tigers workout jersey as they enter the stadium, compliments of Gatorade. These nylon mesh jerseys look just like the jerseys the Tigers wear during their pregame workouts. So be sure to make your plans to be on hand this Sunday, that's a week from today, when the Tigers host the Seattle Mariners in a 1:35 game on Tigers Gatorade Workout Jersey Day at Tiger Stadium. And be sure to purchase your tickets in advance. Gary Pettis has a big rip at it. He's leading off an inning for the 3rd time in this game. Bounced out in the 1st, struck out in the 3rd. And a strike on the outside corner. Strike 2 to Pettis. Tigers down by 2 as they bat in the 5th inning. First final of the day. Pittsburgh beats Chicago 4-2. The leading Pirates. That sounds good to Jim Leland. A 2-strike pitch. Chops it over the head of the pitcher, and the throw, no, he didn't get it in his glove. Looked like Fletcher tried to pull it out of the glove, or maybe did and bobbles it. Let's see what happens.
Well, both the second baseman and the shortstop could have made this play. Shortstop calls him off. He gets it in his glove, and as he was transferring it into his bare hand, he couldn't get the handle on it.
Waiting for a ruling on that.
They called it an error.
They have ruled it an error on the shortstop. So Pettis at first with nobody out, and the batter is Whitaker. He's had a double and a walk today. There's a long drive down the line and right. This is home run for Whitaker. Lou Whitaker has hit a 2-run homer, and we have a tie ball game.
Well, it looked like the Tigers were never going to get a base hit with a man on base, but we've had several opportunities with men in scoring position. Here we had a man on first base, and Sweet Lou hits his second home run of the year. Another line drive just over the barrier in right field. Knuckleball that comes down and in to Lou. Again, another line drive just over the barrier.
A 2-2 ball game, and still nobody out in the 5th inning. Darrell Evans has had a single today and 2 trips. And he fouls this one. Baltimore has changed pitchers for the 2nd time in the 6th inning. Kansas City still batting. 1 ball, 1 strike to Evans. Yankees, Toronto tied at 3. They're in the bottom of the 8th inning in New York. And they're in the 8th inning in Milwaukee, 2-0. Red Sox lead it. Fly ball down the line and right. This ball is curving toward the crowd, but not enough. Ruben Sierra makes the catch. So Darrell Evans is out. Wind was blowing that way, but it didn't blow it far enough. Not far enough for Darrell Evans. We'll bring up Trammell, who's walked and struck out today. Allen had a great chance his last time up with runners at first and third, 1 out. It's a strike. It popped out of the mid of Petrali. 1 strike to Trammell. Trammell struck out with runners at first and third, 1 out. Then Noakes bounced out to end that threat. Fifth inning in Arlington. Rangers 2 and the Tigers 2. And a ground ball to the mound, picked off by Huff. Alan Trammell is the 2nd out of the inning. And it'll bring up Matt Noakes.
Well, if it had got by the pitcher, it looked like it would have been a base hit, but Charlie Huff moves around pretty well for a 40-year-old.
That's young.
You bet.
You're not going to knock 40, are you?
No, but I mean, he's still out there pitching.
He sure is, and he might pitch a few more years. Wilhelm did, throwing that knuckleball. How old was he when he quit? 46?
I don't know, but he was collecting his pension
when he quit. The pitch to Matthew. Matthew's been to the plate twice. Both times he has bounced it down to first base. 2 outs, nobody on. This inning started when Pettis was safe on an error. Whitaker hit a home run to tie the game. Evans fouled out. Trammell bounced to the mound. Now it's ball 2 and strike 1 to Matt Noakes. Charlie Huff delivers. It's low. Ball 3. The inning is over in Kansas City. They got only 3 runs. 3-0. Kansas City leads it. Baltimore batting in the 7th. The 3-1 pitch. Matthew fouls it away.
Charlie Huff makes a lot of starts, doesn't he? Doesn't miss many turns. Led the majors in starts and innings.
I've never heard of a knuckleball pitcher having a sore arm. I'm sure they do from time to time. But they keep going out there. He walked him. Matthew Noakes gets a walk. Got the knuckleball over but low. That's the 3rd walk today. Given up by Charlie. A 2-out walk to Noakes, and the batter is Morrison, who's 0 for 2. Well, we had the Tiger home run inning, but it came 1 inning too soon. It was the 4th. Whitaker hits his home run here in the 5th. Charlie Huff holding Noakes close. I doubt Matthew will be running. Unless the ball pops out of the mid of Petrelli. There's a slow bounder toward 3rd. Michelle throws and gets him on a good play. Throwing on the dead run, and he made a good throw to first base. Tigers get 2 runs in the inning on only 1 hit. Strand a man. We go to the bottom of the 5th. It's tied at 2. Here's the way our upcoming TV schedule looks. 1 week from today, we'll be at home at 1 o'clock against Seattle. The following Sunday, 2 weeks from today, May 8th, we'll be in the Kingdome in Seattle, 4 o'clock Michigan time. And then back home the following Sunday, May 15th, against Minnesota at 1 o'clock. It's a 2-2 ball game as the Rangers come to bat in the 5th inning. Steve Buechele will lead off. Espy will follow, and then Jerry Brown. Buechele's been to the plate 1 time, and he flied to right field. Takes it high. 1 ball, no strikes. Yankees scored 2. They lead 5-3, still batting in the 8th inning. The pitch to Buechele. It's high, ball 2. Jack has walked 1. That was O'Brien in the 1st inning. Ball 2, no strikes to the leadoff man. Makes it 2-1 as Buechele had his home run swing.
Pretty dangerous with nobody on base.
Yeah, most of his home runs.
I know last year he had, he only had 10 of his 13 with nobody on base.
There's one hit to right field. Well hit. Way back goes Lemon. This ball is out of here. He just hit one over the right field fence. And the Rangers take the lead, 3-2.
I think anybody was going to hit one out in that part of the ballpark, particularly a right-handed hitter. As you see there, just over the 380 mark.
Rangers regain the lead. Espy the batter, and he bunts foul. Ball sailing back into the crowd quickly. Well, a 2-run homer by Whitaker tied it up in the top of this inning. Buechele leading off, with the Rangers right back on top. And here's one hit hard at Whitaker. He spears it to throw to first, and Espy is out. Cecil Espy is out. Whitaker to first base, and the top of the batting order, Jerry Brown, steps in. He singled, scored a run in the first inning, then he bounced out. Pitch outside. Tigers have 4 hits. Rangers have 3. Tigers have 5 hits. Rangers have 4. Here's a fly ball to left. Sheridan will put it away. 2 of the 4 Ranger hits have been home runs.
Jack Morris had allowed only 1 home run in 31 1/3 innings, which is very low for Jack. Jack usually gives up a few home runs, but he's allowed 2 in this game alone.
Scott Fletcher will bat with 2 outs and nobody on. He's hit the ball hard twice today. Once into deep right center that was caught, then a line drive that was caught by Trammell. And a pitch outside. It's Vic Valtaggio behind the plate today. Steve Palermo's at first base. Dan Morrison at second. And the crew chief, Dave Phillips, on at third. Here's a fly to right field. Chester Lemon is there. They get a run in the inning on the home run by Buechele, and at the end of 5, the Rangers 3 and the Tigers 2. Here come the Tigers in the 6th inning. Pat Sheridan will lead it off, Chet Lemon, and then Ray Knight. And here's some of our fans right down below us.
Yeah, they've been waving in between innings, hoping to get on television. Of course, hoping for a sweep of this series. The Carpenters.
They live in Plano, Texas, some 25 miles north of downtown Dallas. Sheridan has been on base twice today. He was safe on an error in the 2nd inning, singled in the 4th inning. Tigers down by 1 as they bat in the 6th inning. And a strike to Sheridan. Charlie Huff gets ready. 1 ball, 1 strike. Home runs have accounted for all the scoring in this game. A 2-run homer by Sierra, then a 2-run homer by Whitaker tied the score. Buechele had a solo blast to put the Rangers back in front. Ball 2, strike 1 to the leadoff man. We're in the 6th inning. God, he almost hit him with that one. Ball 3. A good crowd on hand on this Sunday afternoon in Arlington. This is a foul ball. Count goes full at 3-2 to Pat Sheridan. They've got the wave going. That's all the noise you hear. Ball 3, strike 2. And the payoff pitch to Sheridan. He called him out on strikes, threw him a 3-2 fastball that was on the outside part of the plate, and Sheridan is out on strikes.
Oh, I don't know. It looked like he jerked the ball on the corner. At least the way the catcher caught the ball and then pulled it into the corner of the plate. Looked like it was outside.
That'll bring up Lemon. Chester takes a strike. He's had a single today and 2 trips. time just as Charlie Huff got ready. Tigers have had at least, well, they've had one hit in every inning. No more than that. There's a ground ball to second. But Ray Knight's going to have to get one to keep that string going. 2 outs in the 6th inning. Ray has fouled out. Flied to center field his last time up. Minnesota having a field day. They lead Cleveland 12-4. They were behind at one time 4-2.
How about that Chicago-Oakland series? 3 games in a row now they've gone extra innings. Could go again.
Yeah, it's a 1-run game today. Oakland leads 4-3 in the 8th inning. The pitch to Ray Knight. Low. Ball 2, no strikes. Roger Clemens has only to get the Milwaukee club out in the 9th for a shutout. 2-0. Boston leads Milwaukee. A 2-0 pitch tonight. Ball 3. Ball 3, no strikes. Gary Pettis would bat next if Knight gets on. And a strike. Makes it 3-1. He was going to swing at it, I think, but it was to the outside part of the plate. Ray Knight, a veteran, was looking for something inside he could pull. A 3-1 pitch. He walked. So Knight is on. 4th walk given up by Huff.
Center fielder Gary Pettis.
None of the 4 as yet have hurt him. The only damage done to Huff today, Pettis was safe on an error starting the 5th inning. Then Whitaker hit a home run. Gary Pettis is 0 for 2. 0 for 3. Safe on an error as last time. Pitch is low to Gary. They're in the 8th inning in Kansas City. 3-0. Saberhagen and the Royals lead Baltimore. The pitch to Gary Pettis is a base hit into left. Here comes Knight to 3rd. Down to 2nd goes Pettis. He hit it right on the end of the bat and looped it down the left field line.
This ball is cued on the end of the bat, and once it hits it, cuts real deep over to the bullpen in left field. Incaviglia hustling all the way. A speedier man on first base might have attempted to go all the way to home, but Incaviglia got over there very quickly.
Lou Whitaker has a chance to put the Tigers in front. He tied it his last time up with a home run. Now the runners at 2nd and 3rd, 2 outs. Tigers down by 1. Lou had a double in the 1st inning, walked in the 3rd, a home run in the 5th. So he's had a big day. Knuckleball comes inside.
He might get a pass ball here. Charlie Huff is going to throw his best to Lou Whitaker. He's hurt him already today, and he throws several different kinds of knuckleball. He's not going to throw one just for a strike. He's going to throw his very best to Whitaker, and it might get past Petrelli.
It's ball 2 and no strikes. Darrell Evans would bat next if Whitaker gets on. Knight, the runner at 3rd base, and the very speedy Gary Pettis on his 2nd base. It's ball 2 and no strikes. And he fouls it away. This all started with 2 outs and nobody on. He struck out Sheridan. Lemon bounced out. Ray Knight drew a walk, then a double by Pettis. Now it's ball 2 and strike 1 to Whitaker. Up, taking a lot of time. Pitch outside, ball 3. Three and 1 to Lou. Wind seems to be picking up, blowing very hard straight in from center field. And the 3-1 pitch. He walked it. So the bases are loaded for Darrell Evans. 5 walks given up by Huff. 2 of the 5 this inning. Darrell's had a single today. 1 for 3. Drove in 4 last night with a single and a home run. Bobby Valentine. Well, he's got to throw strikes to Darrell Evans. He has no place to put him. Rangers lead by a run. We're in the 6th inning. They have the shift on, really, for Evans. Fletcher's almost behind the bag at second. There's a long drive way back and right, but it's going to be caught on the warning track. Darrell hit it up in the wind, and the wind is really blowing right now. And he thought it was out of here. So did everybody else, I think. Sierra went back to the warning track, then had to come in a step to get it. You see the wind. It's really picked up this inning. Tigers failed to score. We go to the bottom of the 6th. 3-2 Rangers. Well, we're going to take a look at that ball at the finish of the dot racing right now. I tell you, I can't believe this. Absolutely go bananas over this.
There are 3 different colors, red, yellow, and green. And the people go absolutely bananas over that game. Did you see any wagering today, George Kell?
I got to admit I did.
Okay.
And they made the announcement when they started, no wagering.
My case is closed. So
Your case is
You got
closed.
on me last night about it.
I did. I can't believe it. Sunday afternoon. There was some little guy right down below us. I was watching him. He can't be over 12 years old, and he was having a fit, and his dot lost. And he was very unhappy. He didn't have a wager. 1 strike to the leadoff man, Sierra. I'll tell you, Darrell Evans brought this place to a standstill for a moment to end the last inning for the Tigers. Here's a pop-up into center field.
You see how the wind is blowing. Look at the wind come all the way in now. All the home runs that have been hit have been sort of line drives. Darrell just got the ball a little bit too high.
I still thought it was out of here. I didn't hit it very hard. Do you think it's a home run?
I thought it was a home run, and Darrell just could not believe it. He's halfway to first base, just given the home run trot, and couldn't believe the ball was not out of there.
Sierra started racing for the wall, then stopped on the warning track and had to come back a couple of steps to get it. That'll bring up Incaviglia. He has struck out twice today. There's a big rip at a breaking ball. Jack has struck out 4 batters. And the 1-strike pitch to Incaviglia. Strike 2. Like a split finger pitch. This big guy, whatever he does, he gives it everything. Whether it's in the field, he is not graceful out there, but he goes after everything, hustles, good throwing arm, and at the plate, he's very aggressive. He has just struck out for his 3rd time today. They're getting on him a little bit right now, but I don't know why. He gives them 100%.
This is 22nd strikeout this year. It looked like throws a fastball inside. He doesn't like the ball inside. We mentioned that on. He was a trivia answer. Likes the ball out over the plate.
We'll bring up O'Brien, who's walked today and popped to 3rd base. Baltimore has finished batting in the 8th inning. Still 3-0. They only have one more chance against Brett Saberhagen. Oakland scored a couple. 5-3. They lead the White Sox. They led 3-2 going into the 8th inning. They got a couple. Chicago won. Now it's the 9th inning, 5-3.
Well, you can't call him a homer, can you?
Nope. He wins wherever he pitches.
Looked like the way he started this game, it was going to be a long afternoon for Jack Morris, but he has settled down. They've hit a few balls hard on him, but he's pitched extremely well after the 1st inning.
Ball 3, strike 1 to O'Brien. Jack gets ready, and the pitch. He walked him. It's only the 2nd batter he's walked today. That'll bring up Kemp. Steve singled in the 1st inning, flied to left field in the 4th. Rangers 3 and the Tigers 2 were in the bottom of the 6th inning. Big swing by Steve Kemp. We have a final from Milwaukee. Roger Clemens pitched a shutout and beat Milwaukee 4-0. He just keeps rolling along with one outstanding performance after another. Change up is high.
Well, you know one thing when you face Roger, that you better get a good pitch game because you're not going to score many runs off of him.
One ball, 1 strike to Kemp. The runner at first is O'Brien. He's there. 2 outs in the 6th inning. This is foul past first base.
There's a great story in this morning's paper about Nolan Ryan, who continues to pitch well and still throws the ball over 90 miles an hour.
Now they're talking about Nolan Ryan pitching until maybe he's 45 years old. Now you don't see many hard throwers pitch like that. Did he swing at it? He did. Dave Phillips at 3rd base gave the call, and Kemp is out on strikes. At the end of 6, the Rangers lead it 3-2. Here come the Tigers in the 7th inning. Alan Trammell, Matt Noakes, and Jim Morrison will be the batters. Tigers down by 1. They loaded the bases in the 6th inning against Charlie Huff. Darrell Evans hit one right on the nose into deep right field, and the wind brought it back. Where Ruben Sierra made the catch easily. That snuffed out a very promising rally. Trammell takes it low. Allen has walked, struck out, bounced to the mound. Huff has allowed 6 hits. He's walked 5. Not one of the 5 has figured in the scoring. Ball 2, no strikes. Ball 3, 3-0 to Trammell. Just checking, the Tigers have put the leadoff man on base only 1 time today. That was in the 5th inning, and he scored. The 3-0 pitch to Trammell, right down the middle with a fastball. Charlie Huff just aiming that one for the center of the plate. Ball 3, strike 1. And he fouls it away. 3-2. Allen hit a fastball right on the end of the bat. Wind seems to be coming now from left center field toward first base. Allen would have to hit it on a line to get it out of here. Here's the payoff pitch. He struck him out. Charlie Huff fell behind 3-0, and Trammell goes down on strikes.
Take a look at the last pitch, and pretty good looking knuckleball. Tram still doesn't look good at the plate. He had a good pitch to hit, 3-1, and a fastball, and he fouled it on the end of the bat.
It's 4 strikeouts for Huff. And the batter is Matt Noakes, who's had a walk today. Bounced to first base twice. And he pops it up a mile high on the infield. Everybody's there, and Jerry Brown will make the catch. So Matthew Noakes is out, second out of the inning, and it'll leave it up to Jim Morrison.
Third baseman Jim Morrison.
Tigers have not gotten very much out of their 4th, 5th, and 6th hitters. The best they've been able to do is a couple of walks, one by Trammell, one by Matt Noakes.
Here's Morrison, 0 for 3. And a strike. Charlie Huff has struck out 4, walked 5, allowed 6 hits. But only the 2-run homer by Whitaker has hurt him. That'll make it 1-1 to Morrison. Seventh inning in Arlington. Tigers trail by 1. And the 1-1 pitch. Fly ball to left. In Cavilla, battling the sun and the wind. And he has it. We go to the bottom of the 7th. It's 3-2 Texas. Here's the Miller Lite American League scoreboard. The Yankees beat Toronto 5-3. McGriff, Gruber, and Fernandez all hit home runs in that game. Boston shut out Milwaukee 4-0 behind Roger Clemens. Minnesota 12, Cleveland 4. They're in the 7th inning. Upshaw, Bando, LeMaster have all had home runs. Baltimore 1, Kansas City 3. They're in the 9th inning. Tartabull has a home run, and Stillwell has a home run in that game. Seattle and California, it's a 1-0 game. Seattle leading in the 4th inning, and in the 9th, Oakland 5, Chicago 3. Canseco, Henderson, and Pasco have all hit home runs in that game. Baltimore is batting in the 9th. They've scored a run, and they're still batting behind 3-1. This is Gino Petralli. Gino has lined out and struck out today. Saberhagen is still in the ball game in Kansas City. But you know they have the bullpen going. There's a base hit into center field. Petrelli hit it on a line right straight to center. We're going to pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're watching Tigers 88. Now, starting tomorrow, News 4 presents 3 complete half-hour newscasts. That's at 5, 5:30, and 6. It's news when you're ready to watch. Steve Buechele had a home run his last time up. That broke the 2-2 tie. Runner at first, nobody out. As Al Kaline pointed out to you, last year he hit 13 home runs. 10 came with the bases empty. Here's a bunt foul right at the plate. He's hit 2 in this series, both with the bases empty. Friday night, with 2 runners aboard, 1 out, they took him out for a pinch batter in the 9th inning.
Well, obviously he must swing differently when there's men on base. Maybe he tries to hit home runs too much with men on, and consequently he's easier to pitch to.
He's at the plate with a runner at first and nobody out. We're in the 7th. Rangers 3 and the Tigers 2. And the pitch to Buechele. He bunts again, foul. Jack Morris gave up 2 runs in the first inning on a 2-run homer to Ruben Sierra. Tigers tied that in the 5th inning when Whitaker hit a home run with a man on. Then Buechele hit his home run in the bottom of the 5th to break the tie. And he pops it up. This should get into the crowd. And it will. Wind blowing very hard. Blowing it away from Darrell Evans. Well, it's all over in Kansas City. 18 straight the Birds have lost.
I would imagine Baltimore is going to have to make a trade. You're going to have to get rid of some people, hopefully get some new blood in there. Maybe that'll shake them up.
There's a drive down the line in right, base hit. Buechele will hold with a single. Petrelli goes all the way to third base. Oh, with 2 strikes on him, Buechele hit a good pitch and lined it hard into right field.
Oh, he sure did. This was a great pitch. Ball slicing away from Lemon. Chet does a good job to get over there quickly and fires it into second base.
So the Rangers have him at first and third with nobody out. And the batter is Espy. He struck out, bounced to Whitaker. He hit a shot at Whitaker his last time up. Rangers trying to pad their lead here in the 7th inning. And a fly ball into center. That'll get a run in. Way back goes Pettis. He makes the catch. Here's Buechele. Hit it for second. Save. Espy hit that ball a long way into the teeth of the wind in left center field. Just kept going out there.
It looks like a pretty good looking ball player. Great speed, good outfielder, and he does demonstrate pretty good power here. You see how far he hits this ball, and this is straight into the wind, at least blowing 20-25 miles an hour, and he hits it far enough not only for the man to score from third base, but for the runner to tag up and advance to second base.
So Buechele is at second, 1 out, and the batter will be Jerry Brown. He's had 1 hit today. That was in the first inning.
And we're getting Willie Hernandez now in the bullpen.
Foul ball into the crowd. Guillermo. Willie says he wants to be called instead of Willie Hernandez. (4-2). Rangers lead it. And the pitch coming up to Jerry Brown. It's outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. The hits are even at 6 apiece, and the Rangers lead by 2. It's the first run of this game, scored without the aid of a home run. Outside again. Ball 2 and strike 1. This inning started with a single by Petrali, then a single by Buechele sent him to third. And the long fly ball from the bat of Espy got the run in and sent Buechele to second base. And a pitch outside, ball 3. 3-1 to Jerry Brown. The 3-1 pitch. And a fly ball to left. Now Pettis is over there. Look out. They almost ran together. Well, Pettis came all the way into left field. And Sheridan did not give ground. He just stood there and picked it off.
Shortstop, Scott Fletcher.
That's the second out of the inning, and it'll leave it up to Scott Fletcher. Got a big balloon on the field in left center field, but nobody's noticed yet. A pitch to Fletcher. It's low. 1 ball, no strikes. Jack trying to hold them close. Rangers lead by 2 in the 7th inning. Ball 2. Ball 2, no strikes.
Well, Jack gets in trouble a lot of times, but you see there he's been in real tough when he gets 2 outs and men in scoring position.
We have 4 final scores in the American League. Just posted the Oakland-Chicago game. Oakland won it 5-3. Baltimore losing again to Kansas City 3-1. Yankees win 5-3. Boston 4-0 over Milwaukee. Ball hit to third. Morrison will go to first. In the dirt and scooped up by Darrell Evans. They get a run in the inning on 2 hits, strand a man, and at the end of 7, the Rangers lead it 4-2. I'm George Kell along with Al Kaline in Arlington, Texas, where the Tigers are down by 2 as they come to bat in the 8th inning. Pat Sheridan, Chet Lemon, and Ray Knight will be the batters. We have Tiger fans here today from Monroe, Grand Rapids, and a host of other cities. They are pulling for the sweep, but the Tigers trail by 2, batting in the 8th inning.
For Detroit, left fielder Pat Sheridan.
Pat Sheridan has been safe on an error, singled and struck out today. The knuckleballer Charlie Huff delivers. Here's a pop fly into left. Incaviglia comes hard, can't get it, and a base hit for Sheridan.
And Sheridan's hurt.
What did he do?
I don't know. He pulled up real quick, and see Mitch Williams up in the bullpen for Texas.
Right fielder Chet Lemon.
They've signaled the dugout he's all right. See Trzaskowski signaling to Sparky. He's going to be all right. And here's Bobby Valentine at the mound.
He's already signaled, I think, for the left-hander, Mitch Williams. He hasn't had very much time to warm up down there, but between innings, when the outfielders go, he plays catch with right fielder, so he obviously does not need a lot of time to warm up.
He's the ace of the bullpen. And Bobby Valentine quickly goes out there. A bloop single to left, and boom, that's all. Even with a right-handed batter up there. He wants the left-hander, Mitch Williams. And while there's a break in the action with the score, Texas 4 and the Tigers 2, we'll pause for these messages.
Well, Mitch Williams, the ace of the bullpen, now pitching for the Rangers. This fellow likes to pitch in a lot of ball games. The last 2 years, he's pitched in 80 and 85 games, and usually in long relief. This year, he's having an excellent season, as you see on your monitor. 0-1, 2.84 with 5 saves. He's tied for 5th in the American League in games with 8. He's tied for 3rd in saves with 8. And his saves in 5 opportunities, has saves in all 5 opportunities so far this year. And going back to last year, he has 10 straight starting August 8th, 1987. So real good live fastball. He has a tendency to be a little bit wild, but one of the best arms in baseball.
He'll be pitching to Chet Lemon with a runner at first, nobody out.
And we have a new base runner. Billy Bean is running.
There's a strike.
With an E, as Chuck Waslett says.
Billy Bean, the runner at first. 1 strike to Chet Lemon. 8th inning, Tigers down by 2.
Wonder where Whale Wander is.
Count. They called a balk. They called a balk, and down to second will go Billy Bean.
Well, you don't have to stop to throw the first base, but you cannot cross over that plane, which is the pitching rubber. Once you cross over the rubber with your leg, you have to deliver the ball to home plate, or you have to step towards first base.
Mitch Williams walked over to first base to ask Palermo what he did, and evidently he was satisfied. He shook his head yes, nodded yes, and went right back to the mound. Here's the 1 strike pitch to Lemon. Strike 2. Oh, he blew that one by him. Out of the strike zone, but by him by the time he got the bat going. There's nobody out here in the 8th inning. Strike 2 to Chet Lemon. And a foul ball. He hit him right on the fist, and Chet fouled it away. I don't know what the odds are on that, but that fella has caught 2 foul balls today. Lemon waiting on the strike 2 pitch, and he's going to second and save. Boy, he had him picked off. I'm telling you, I don't know how he called him safe, but he did. And Bobby Valentine is right there. Here he is. He says, how? Well, I want to see it again. Would this have been a no-no?
This is definitely a no-no. Watch how he tags. It's the only thing that
maybe didn't touch him.
Ooh, I don't know whether he ever got his hand on the bag. Look, he still has his ankle.
It's a great move. Watch this.
That's a Johnny Sain move. You know, Johnny Sain used to do that all the time.
I don't know.
Well, it looked like he was
tangled
out.
up arms and legs there. Good stop by the catcher. That was a tremendous move to second base, and Billy Beane has lost about 2 years off his life. He couldn't believe it.
I don't think he'll stray too far now.
Chester fouls this one away.
Hello, Chester, that a baby. Come on.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Tigers trying to get back in this ball game. They're down by 2. And Chet has not had a good swing at Williams. He has just been blowing it by him. This is foul. He finally pulled one.
All right, big man. Come on, Chet.
The Cardinals finally beat the Mets in St. Louis. 5-4. St. Louis hung on to win the final game of the series. Montreal a winner over Philadelphia. And here's strike 3 to Lemon. Chester was having all kinds of problems with Mitch Williams. He finally strikes him out.
Yeah, he throws a rare breaking pitch here. You see the slider that's well out of the strike zone. You get geared up for his fastball, and then he will surprise you with an occasional breaking pitch. Not a very good one, but just enough to confuse the hitter.
Come on, Raymond.
Bring up Ray Knight, who's 0 for 2. He's had a walk. Billy Beane is the runner at second with 1 out. And a foul ball at the plate. Well, he's got to be throwing really hard. The Tigers are not getting good swings at him.
Come on, Ray.
Pitch was well out of the strike zone. He's got everything going for him right now. A strong wind blowing in from left center field. 2-run lead. And throwing very hard. Nope. Billy Beane says never again. The 1-strike pitch tonight. It's outside.
Hey, get him, Ray. Cut hitter. Come on, baby.
He's putting everything he has into it. He just literally jumps at you as he throws the ball. Ray Knight had 14 home runs last year in Baltimore. The player that the Tigers traded to Baltimore, Thurman, left-handed pitcher Thurman, for Knight, pitched today and pitched very well. But they lost 3-1. Ball 2 and strike 1 tonight. They play him well toward right field. I don't figure anybody's going to pull Mitch Williams. And here's one to right field. It'll be caught. They were right there. Ray hit it rather well on a line, but Ruben Sierra was over there waiting on it. The second out, and it'll leave it up to Gary Pettis, who has been called back, and it's going to be Herndon. I believe it's Herndon. He's in the on deck circle. He's made no move to the plate yet, but that's who it's going to be. Mitch Williams taking his warm-up tosses. Altagio had to jump to get out of the way. Well, the Tigers had a runner at second, nobody out. He's there with 2 outs for Larry Herndon. The pitch coming up. A strike right down the middle of the fastball. Larry hits a home run, he's almost going to have to hit it down the right field line. Did he swing at it? No. We got the call from first base, Steve Palermo. The Ranger fans didn't like that call. They thought it was strike 2. 1 ball, 1 strike to Herndon. And he fouls it away, 1-2. Minnesota has a 13-7 lead over Cleveland. Minnesota is batting in the 8th inning. Seattle 3, California 2 there in the 5th inning. All the other games in the American League, with the exception of this one, are over. 1 ball, 2 strikes. He struck him out. What a great performance by Mitch Williams, who comes on and shuts the Tigers down in the 8th inning. It's 4-2 as we go to the bottom of the 8th.
Larry Herndon stays in the game in left field. It's the first time this year Larry has been in the field, and Billy Beane stays in center field. Now playing center field, Billy Beane.
Billy Beane ran for Sheridan. Herndon batted for Pettis. So if you're keeping score, you put Herndon in left, Beane in center, as the Rangers come to bat in the 8th inning. They have a 4-2 lead over the Tigers. Ruben Sierra will lead it off. This fella had a 2-run homer in the 1st inning. He's 1 for 3. Pitch is low, 1 ball, no strikes. 4 runs on 6 hits for the Rangers, 2 runs on 7 hits for the Tigers. And a strike makes it 1-1. Sierra had a little problem with that call. He didn't think it was a strike. Vic Baltaggio went up with the right hand. Now they're still going at it. What's going on here? He doesn't have to call time, Baltaggio, if he thinks he steps out too late. Now Jack's a little upset. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That'll make it ball 2 and strike 1. Ruben Sierra had 109 runs batted in last year, 2nd on the club. He had 30 home runs. He led the club in runs batted in with 109, 2nd on the club with 30 home runs. A big year for this young man. Ball 2, strike 1. Jack Morris ready. And a foul. This will be out of play. Count even at 2-2 to Sierra. Atlanta beats Cincinnati today, 4-1. San Diego has a 1-0 lead. Pitcher's high, ball 3. 3-2. Ruben Sierra, the leadoff man in the 8th inning. And the 3-2 pitch. Now what's happened? A baseball came on the field. Well, Jack Morris, you know, you can get hurt this way. He's ready to pitch again. Somebody threw a baseball on the field. The 3-2 pitch. And he walked him. I'm not surprised at all he walked him. With all the distractions that Jack had pitching to Sierra. Ruben stepped out a couple of times and a loose baseball came on the field. That'll bring up Incaviglia, who's been to the plate 3 times, and he struck out 3 times. .6'1", 220 pounds. 24 years old. And a towering pop-up. Ooh, is this a major league pop-up? It's going to come down. Morrison will pick it off. First out of the inning, and the batter will be Pete O'Brien. Pete's 0 for 1. He's had a couple of walks. Hernandez continues to throw in the Tiger bullpen.
Sierra has excellent speed, but he's been hampered by a pulled hamstring muscle, so I doubt if he will be attempting to steal.
Rangers have not been running in this entire series. Very little running. Tigers running wild in the first 2 ball games. 1 ball, no strikes. Charlie Huff had a lot to do with the Tigers not running today. He has an excellent move to first base. Ball 2. Ball 2, no strikes to O'Brien. This fella had a big night last night. 2 singles and a home run.
He also had 2 home runs last year off of Jack Morris.
He's going to have to hit it on a line to get one out of here now. We started with a strong breeze, and it's picked up even stronger now. Pitch outside. Ball 3, no strikes. Steve Kemp will bat next. 3-0 to O'Brien. He walked him. Second walk this inning. 4th walk given up by Morris. 2 on, 1 out for Kemp. Steve Kemp has had a single today. He singled in the first inning. Flied to left, struck out his last time up. Two on, 1 out, infield at double play depth. And a strike at the knees. They can double him up. Steve doesn't run that well anymore. They did double him up on opening day in Detroit in a pinch hitting role in a key spot in the ball game. That'll make it strike 2. In 1979, Steve Kemp was the player of the year with the Tigers. Led the club in hitting with a .318 average, 26 home runs, 105 runs batted in.
Steve started going backwards when he was hit in the face by a line drive in batting practice while he was with the Yankees.
He strikes out. That's the second out of the inning. 7 strikeouts as we look at it again.
See, he is geared strictly for the fastball, and Jack throws a split finger pitch in great location. Not too many hitters are going to hit that pitch.
That'll leave it up to Petrali, who has singled in 3 trips. He scored a run his last time up. Good fastball for a strike. Ruben Sierra is the runner at second base. O'Brien at first with 2 outs. We're in the bottom of the 8th. Rangers 4 and the Tigers 2. Check swing foul. Looking ahead to the 9th inning. Tigers will have Whitaker, Evans, and Trammell against Mitch Williams, who came on in the 8th inning throwing nothing but smoke. The strike 2 pitch to Petrali. Fly ball into center. Way back goes Billy Beane. Way back. He'll catch it. I tell you, maybe the wind kept that one in the ballpark. Right into the wind, and on the warning track, Billy Beane caught it. At the end of 8, 4-2, Rangers. Here come the Tigers in the 9th inning. They are down by 2. Let me tell you about the attendance this weekend. It's been a big weekend of baseball here in Arlington. 23,000 plus on Friday night, 34,000 plus Saturday night, and 29,543 today. That translates into more than 87,000 this weekend in Arlington, Texas. Lou Whitaker will lead it off. And a pitch inside. Tigers need a base runner to get the tying run to the plate. Lou's had a big day. A double, a walk, a home run, and another walk. And he fouls this one away. So he's been on base 4 times today. It's a final. Minnesota 13, Cleveland 7. Strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Whitaker.
You don't see too many left-handers stay in there against Mitch Williams. He sort of like a crossfire. He steps towards first base.
And he's a good fielder. He just picked one off that was hit very hard right back at him. Oh, Whitaker is out. 1 out in the 9th inning, and the batter will be Darrell Evans. Darrell's had a single today in 4 trips. Four to 2, the Rangers lead it. We're in the 9th inning. Tigers won by 2 here on Friday night, won by 1 run last night, and they are down by 2 in the 9th inning today. 1 strike to Evans. You've got to be impressed with Mitch Williams. This is outside, 1-1. One ball, 1 strike to Darrell Evans. Trammell will bat next. And a foul makes it 1-2. Darrell Evans had 34 home runs in 1987. Good enough for 3rd place, a tie for 3rd in the American League. Here's the 1-2 pitch. And a line drive. It's speared by the shortstop. Well, that's 2 balls hit hard here in the 9th inning by the left-handed batters. Mitch Williams made a good play on Whitaker, and Fletcher a fine play on Darrell Evans.
He hits the ball hard. He stays in there real well against Williams. And a good play by the little shortstop.
And the batter is Trammell. He's the last hope for the Tigers. 2 outs, nobody on. Tigers down by 2. Pitch is low. Salazar is in the on-deck circle. If Trammell gets on, he'll bat for Noakes. Trammell may not get on. Here's a pop fly into shallow right. Sierra is there. He'll put it away, and the ball game is over. Mitch Williams gets the Tigers 1-2-3 in the ninth inning. Nothing across. The final score of the game, the Rangers 4, the Tigers 2. And we'll be right back. Well, in a losing cause here today, our Miller Lite Tiger player of the game is Lou Whitaker. Lou Whitaker drove in both Tiger runs with a 2-run homer in the 5th inning. He had a double, he had 2 walks, and was retired in the 9th inning on a sharply hit ground ball to the mound. Mitch Williams made a fine play on it. So a fine day by Lou Whitaker, our Miller Lite Tiger player of the game, and Miller Lite is pleased to send a $100 donation in his name to the Children's Hospital of Michigan. And we'll be right back. Well, the Tigers' bid for a clean sweep here in Texas fell short today as Charlie Huff and then great relief pitching by the left-hander Mitch Williams put an end to it. The Rangers went on to win it 4-2. I thought the key spot in the ball game, Al Kaline, was bases loaded, 2 outs in the 6th inning. Darrell Evans hit a towering fly ball that looked like it had a chance to be a home run. It was caught.
Well, I know Darrell was very disappointed. He gave his home run trot. He wasn't even halfway to first base. He couldn't believe that the ball not only didn't go out of the ballpark, but then all of a sudden the right fielder had to move in a little bit on it. He was the only one of the ones that hit home runs that did hit the ball high in the air. The other ones were more like line drives. It's one of those unfortunate things. Jack Morris pitched well enough to win. He got off to a shaky start. Looked like he was going to get blown out of the ball game real early, but he settled down and pitched a real good ball game from the 1st inning on. He did give up a home run, but I thought pitched well enough to win.
He sure did pitch well. In the 1st inning, he allowed 3 hits, 2 singles, a home run, and a walk. And as Al pointed out, a very shaky start. They got 2 runs, but then he retired 13 batters in a row before they finally got to him for another home run. And home runs played a very important part in this ball game today. A very strong wind. We've seen this before here in Texas quite often. You don't see many home runs when the wind is blowing straight in, but Sierra hit one. It was on a line down the right field line, got him off to a 2-0 start. And Whitaker's home run was a line drive that got us back into the game.
Well, you know, you hate to say the wind cost you the ball game because both teams had to hit in it. But they just happened to hit the ball harder on the line than the Tigers did today. You have to give some credit to the Texas Ball Club. You know, Charlie Huff pitched a good ball game. And, of course, when they got in trouble, they went right to their strong-arm left-hander, Williams, who just did an outstanding job for him.
Well, that shows you what they think about Mitch Williams, Al. A leadoff single, a bloop single in the 8th inning, a right-handed batter coming up, but Bobby Valentine didn't waste any time. He went right straight to the bullpen. He got his left-hander, brought him in, and Mitch Williams he was just awesome today. I've never seen him better.
Well, you know, our guys don't seem to like the hit off of him. He's a little bit wild, and consequently the hitters don't stay in there the way they do against most guys. And he has that attitude about him. You see him walking around the ballpark. He really plays to the fans here, particularly down the right field line. He has that attitude that you have to be a good relief pitcher. He's very cocky, and he thinks he can get the job done. And what you really like about him, and I know manager Valentine likes about him, he wants the ball all the time. He's always up wanting to get into the ball game, and they have to really control him to make him sit down all the time.
Well, the Tigers came in here after losing 2 straight at home to the Boston Ball Club, a little bit down. They won the first 2 ball games, and they were thinking sweep all the way. But I've got to feel that Sparky is contented going out of here 2 out of 3. Last night, a lot of people said the Tigers had no chance of winning. That was the talk in the press room after the game. That it was not a pretty win at all, a very ugly win, you might say. But they picked up their 2nd win, and then today, with Jack Morris going, you had to hope that maybe they'd get the sweep, but it just wasn't to be.
Well, you know, anytime you win 2 or 3 games of a 3-game series, it's pretty good. Sure, you like to sweep, but you have to give the other teams credit. Texas has been struggling somewhat scoring some runs. Last night was the first time that they've scored more than 4 runs. So you have to give the other ball clubs credit. They're not going to roll over and play dead for Detroit.
Yeah, Texas has not been playing well at home. They had lost 5 straight at home coming into this game today. We're going to pause for this message, and then we'll be right back. Or so, the Tigers will be flying back to Detroit, where tomorrow's an off day. Then they'll open with California on Tuesday night. But on the plane trip back, I would imagine Sparky's going to start counting his walking wounded. He lost Brookins last night. He was hit on the hand by a pitch ball. Sheridan had to leave the game today, and he can ill afford to lose those 2 guys.
Well, you know, both of those guys are hitting well over 300. And it is tough to lose those kind of guys, particularly Tom Brookins, who is off to the best start of his professional career. But fortunately, as you mentioned, they do have an off day tomorrow. And what they do need is some more offensive punch from the middle of their lineup. They're just not getting that RBIs from the guys in the middle that you count on, and if you're going to win, they're the ones that are going to have to drive in a lot of runs. Yeah, I was watching that a moment ago, Al, when we were out for a commercial break. Trammell, the 4th place hitter, did not have a base hit today. Noakes was 0 for 3. They each had a walk, and Jim Morrison, who's playing third base in place of Brookins, 0 for 4 today. So when you don't get any production from your 4th, 5th, and 6th batters, you are in trouble. Well, that's the RBI spots. That's why you're there. The 4th, 5th, and 6th spots are the ones that you expect to get the RBIs from. And hey, they're in a little bit of a slump, but they're all good players, and you know they're going to bounce back. And the day off, maybe they'll be able to get their heads back together with a day off tomorrow. So it's on to Detroit now. We have a big week of baseball there. The California Ball Club will be in on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, all-night games. Then Seattle, we haven't had a chance to see these ball clubs, not even in spring training. No, these are guys that train out in Arizona. They have young ball clubs. Glenn Wilson, of course, is with the Seattle Ball Club, and Dan Petrie, although I don't think Dan is scheduled to pitch against the Tigers, he's now with the California Ball Club. So it's a good chance if the Tigers start scoring some runs, they can pick up, I think, quite a few wins in the win column. Well, what they're going to be looking for in Detroit and hoping for more than anything else is some good weather, get some fans out there. Bobby Valentine brought his ball club in here this weekend. Very much impressed with the fan support that Boston and Cleveland had on this past road trip. And he said, we've got to get our fans behind us. And they turned out this weekend in record numbers. I thought 87,000 plus, Al, was a tremendous weekend of baseball here in Arlington. Of course, great weather. It hasn't gotten too hot here, and it's just been ideal for both teams. And certainly it's great for the fans to come out in good conditions to watch the ball games. Well, we haven't had that kind of weather yet in Detroit. It could be that kind of a week, and if it is, Tigers could draw a lot of people, and they could pick up some ground. As Al Kaline pointed out, the California club, the Seattle club, do not figure to be the strong teams out there. Oakland has been picked by most people to win it, so the Tigers could pick up some ground. It's going to be a great week of baseball in Detroit. California and Seattle coming in. Well, the totals here today: 4 runs, 6 hits, 2 errors for the Texas Ball Club. Charlie Huff gets the win. He's 3-2 on the year. Tigers had 2 runs, 7 hits, no errors. Jack Morris takes the loss. Jack's now 2-3. Well, for Al Kaline and Bernie Smilovitz, this is George Kell thanking you for being with us. Hope you'll join us again next Sunday, 1 week from today at 1 o'clock, when the Tigers face the Seattle Mariners. Today's game was produced and directed by Chuck Waslick. Our coordinating director was Tom Guida. Studio producer Toby Tabasinski. Associate producer Sue Ganzak. Production assistance by Ed Kals. Once again, the final score: Texas 4 and the Tigers 2.
Tigers 88. Today's game was brought to you by Miller Lite. For great taste, there's only one light beer. By your Greater Michigan and Metro Detroit Ford dealers. And by Taco Bell. Taco Bell has your order. Make a run for the border. Tigers 88. Another reason why WDIV is first for sports.